The reality is that using identity as the primary gatekeeper for your security just no longer works. There are multiple problems with that approach, not the least of which is it's not as if when somebody hacks your system, they kick down the door and they're inside and they just carry everything away. There are stages to it. When criminals get into your system, they often look around, they lurk around, they plan their strategies, and then they strike. And that's where you're getting to zero trust. Never trust, always verify. The thing is though, IT estates are complex, therefore zero trust can often be complex. How do we simplify it? How do we make more sense of it? This is what we're going to find out. With all that said, thank you very much for joining us today.
There's a phrase that says good security starts with a great user experience. And I fundamentally believe that. And let me, if I may share, this is the survey results of a poll that was led by Gartner. It was basically to identify what the enterprise priorities were in 2023. How do we support that business transformation? How do we support that journey to the cloud? How do we make sure that that journey to the cloud is done securely and safely? And how do we make sure that despite maybe us making those first steps, how do we make sure that we can actually get those projects across the line? So for many people, when that organic adoption of cloud happened, many found that there were issues or gaps that were still not remediated, even though the promise of moving to cloud was to make things simpler. Now, of course, part of that was it ended up opening potentially new ways of attack, new compromises, new issues with securing those workloads and protecting that data. And ultimately, it led to additional cost because as each problem arose, we then took a point-in-time solution, a particular product or service that could fix that one issue. And this led to a very complex environment of disparate technologies that didn't talk to each other, that didn't interwork, that made it very hard to get insights.
The user is the most targeted vector to get into an environment. And oftentimes that can be their corporate device, their inbox, but it's not limited to that. So when one is thinking about ransom-based attacks, and certainly scenarios where we best support our clients, it's starting to think about how can I protect my employees and my supply chain, but also how do I protect my network and my applications. Now, that is such a broad answer, and really the power of Cloudflare's platform is that we can consolidate so many of those different challenges under a single platform. So if any of you are thinking about moving to Cloudflare or already use Cloudflare, even if it's through a channel partner, you will always have your Cloudflare team available to support you.
This has been a webinar brought to you by Cloudflare and ITWeb, Unlocking Cloud Value, the case for network modernization. More specifically, how do you get zero trust to work in your organization using a platform approach? I hope you found this very informative. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again soon. Have a great afternoon and goodbye.